My name is Candace. I am the MD CEO of BlueDutch. With real estate experience spanning almost 2 decades, it's important we educate and enlighten people about the intricacies of real estate investing. My why in real estate stems from the realization that firstly, real estate is as old as mankind, and along with food and clothing are the basic needs of man and are never going away. This is the reason why we have to create an enabling environment for real estate to strive in. Personally, I believe that Nigeria and Africa are in their need of companies like ours stepping up within the private sector to assist the government create an enabling environment and cost-effective solutions to real estate, especially in the housing sector, where we clearly are in deficit of. For instance, Nigeria in 2025 is still experiencing a housing deficit of 28 million houses. This is a 60% increase from what we experienced in the year 2020, when we had just 17 million housing deficit. This bottleneck is one I think the government will not be able to tackle on its own. Also, you think about the fact that there's a constant rise in population, especially in urban areas like what we experience in Lagos State. This has also caused a rise in the cost and valuation of properties, which is more in the rental sector. These bottlenecks, like I said, will not be the burden of the government alone. That's the reason why we are equipped to support and partner with the government to solve this deficit, especially in the housing area. Not being drawn into real estate investing is understandable, but not advisable, because in the long run, you'll be shortchanging yourself. For instance, it's akin to saying people avoid going by road trips just because there is a tendency for, car crash during the road trip. All you have to do is identify and partner with the right firm that will take you through the process while you gain as much knowledge as possible along the line. Speaking from an insider perspective, real estate involvement is not as controversial as it seems if the right processes are being put in place. The reason why we are established to take you through your real estate journey, even as you gain the requisite knowledge, and also we have tailor-made solutions to all your demands. At BlueDutch, we have some unique propositions and operational processes that revolves around total customer satisfaction and transparency. Every member of BlueDutch, ranging from the management team to every staff member, are inculcated with customer-centric knowledge. So be sure to get spotted whenever you encounter a member of BlueDutch. Now, one of our strong points in our customer service drive is our ability to deliver immediate physical allocation, typically between 15 to 30 days upon payment for a property, because we acknowledge the importance of fulfilling our obligations to clients who purchased these properties with a clear expectation. Other areas where we strive in our customer-centric drive involves legacy building, where we try to create legacies for our clients by naming some streets within our estates after certain clients. We also strive in areas that has to do with estate switch, because we understand the importance of satisfaction. And this is a tailor-made solution, especially to clients in diaspora who had little or no opportunity to physically inspect their property before purchase, and upon inspection or for any reason, they decide to have a change of heart and preference for estates. We have tailor-made solutions to switch within estates, observing some terms and conditions. Other areas where we strive in the area of transparency is that we have a clear communication line with all stakeholders, providing clear and precise information promptly as well. And then, of course, for those of us that are privy to our materials, we realize that we have estate coordinates on display. This is for verification purpose. And then, upon request, we have our estate documents out there for verification. So at BlueDutch, we strive in the area of customer friendliness and transparency in our business processes. Having in-depth knowledge of real estate regulations, it's very important, especially for people that aim to go into real estate at some point. It would not only preserve your property, but also keeps you on the right side of the law. Now, these regulations vary from state to state because according to the Land Use Act, the federal law enacts ownership of every land within the state to the government, with the governor acting as custodian of those land within the state's borders. Now, it's important for investors, especially first-time buyers, to understand that upon the purchase of every property, a document attested to by the government, the governor in this case, is very important. So as it concerns property purchase, it's also important to adhere to some restrictions and some policies as it concerns each state. Taking Lagos State as case study, before you make those purchase of those properties, you have to consider a couple of factors ranging from its closeness to a major highway, its closeness to waterways, drainages, canals, and of course, high power cable tension carrying electrical distribution. Then, of course, worthy of note, you have to be wary of government reserve areas. So if you can exercise these restrictions, this is just to name a few among the lots, but this has concerned the government, then you'll be sure of preserving your investment or your property. Now, when it comes to building construction or building property, there are some regulations, there are some approvals and some documentation you have to obtain to ensure you preserve that project. Some of which you have to obtain from legalized government bodies, such as Physical Planning Agency. This is going to help you get approval for your building project, your building permit, and of course, your architectural drawing before the project commence. And then a building control agency, where you have to get approval from upon commencement of the project. Other bodies you need to get approvals from, environmental protection as well. You need to ensure, or you need to assure the government that you take environmental protection into cognizance before starting that construction. Of course, you also have to get approval from a materials testing agency. This body is in charge of approving the materials as well as the quantity of items to ensure that they are of standardized profile before the building commences. So if you adhere and get permits from these requisite bodies, as well as the government approval from, of course, the Physical Planning Office, you'll be sure of not only preserving your property, but also experience a rise in the valuation of pricing of the property. At BlueDutch, we deal more on service plots within well-designed and structured estates. We are also big on building construction and consultancy services. Now, having a client base of over 70% diaspora clients, they are very important to us. And of course, we have processes in place to cater for their need. First of all, we have processes that offers virtual inspection to our properties because our system is mainly digitalized. So we have a system in place where every of our functions takes place online. So that's also one area where we cater for our diaspora clients. As well, like I earlier said, we have an opportunity for estate switch. We offer that to diaspora clients. So at any point in time they return to Nigeria, upon inspection of their property, they are able to switch to an estate of their preference. And lastly, I think in one way we try to ease of doing business for our diaspora clients is that we send their documentation via courier services. So for every soft copy documentation they get via email, they get the corresponding hard copy via the courier service of their choice. So these are some of the ways we try to cater for their needs. We always ensure to carry out our corporate social responsibilities by serving our communities. And then we also offer free consultancy services as well as trainings for realtors and clients alike. We also offer flexible payment plans in terms of property purchase, because we understand the importance of flexibility and convenience for clients as it comes to real estate investing. So apart from the usual suspects, which happens to be the title and the fact that the land is free from all forms of government encumbrances and diverse worries, one key factor we consider is the developmental ability of the location. The location where we site our estate has to be one that has a very bright developmental plan in terms of neighborhood infrastructures, and then the closeness to major access roads, because we care a lot about proximity as far as our location is concerned. We also worry about the topography of the land. All our estates, as you would know, for those of us that are private to visited our estates, you realize that most of our estates are on dry tableland with a very good topography. So these are some of the factors we consider when citing a new estate development.